Maybe you can give me some advising.
Sure. What's up?
Um, I met a guy during 2023,
hmm
and he started this same program here in Mexico for Latam in the
Okay.
affiliates part.
Yeah.
And he creates a lot of content in Instagram, in TikTok,
Right.
and he raised very well in this affiliate part. He grew up more than 100, I think so, affiliates.
hmm
And I'm a part of his WhatsApp group, and most of the time I'm giving support or giving responses to the people there.
Yeah.
Uh, and a few minutes ago, he sent me a voice note with a proposal.
Yeah.
And he's telling me if I would like to be a part of his team as a support, as a tech support,
Right.
and he's offering me also some assessments that he usually has with some people that need support for JHL, and he's giving me this proposal in case that I would like to be part of his team to provide this support for his clients,
Right.
and he would be paying me
What's the pay structure?
100%. Excuse me?
What's the pay structure?
Yeah. He's telling me that he will give me 100% of the assessments, whatever amount I want,
hmm
100, to 200 per session. Uh, and also he's asking me to quote like my service to him.
Yeah. So check it out. Here's a tricky situation. Then we'll get into the topic for the call. Somebody's seeing that you're doing well, so well that he wants you to come in and do it for him for a percentage. So the question is, number one, why is he not doing it himself? And number two, why is he now trying to outsource that to you? If you were to do the exact same thing for your own community, would you make more money? Yes or no?
For my own community.
For example, if he were not paying you, but the people that you were dealing with were paying you directly, would you make more money?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. So don't, what you're doing is you're starting up and getting attention because you're good at what you're doing. If you swap over, you're going to basically be an employee of his, right? It's better to build your brand as opposed to someone else's brand because they're going to go, oh, Omar's a big name or this guy's a big name and Omar's doing all the work for a percent. It's not bad necessarily, and you could stick with that and get enough attention or enough money and then move over. But if you take that route, then you have to recognize that when you eventually say I'm moving over, you're gonna pull people from his community, and he's gonna go from, oh, I was paying you to, wow, you just stabbed me in the back. So what I would do is I would just say, you can, and that's a big thing you can do. You leverage other people's audiences. They're dropping the ball. I can't tell you how many affiliates have come over to me because I go into scam affiliates groups, I provide value, and they go,
Mm,
"Oh, I want to go with you as opposed to them."
yeah.
And big names too. And here's the thing, right? For people who are like, "Wow, that's not right." Your people will bring in scam affiliates, will bring in affiliates, and then leave them out to dry. That's what they do. And they bring me on a terrible offer. So this is how I actually got started in the space. I was just in groups because I fell for a scam affiliate myself. And I'm like, this is complete and utter crap. I was seeing people with questions there, and somebody asked a question like, please, I'm so stuck, I'm so confused. And I was like, oh, this is what I would do. One reply on one thing, I got 31 DMs saying, can you please help me? 31 DMs in 4 days.
Hmm.
And I was like, holy cow. I was like, these people are struggling.
Yeah.
And so I had already had business. I was scaling up, but when I came in under the scam affiliate, he did nothing for me. Absolutely nothing.
And that's happening now because, for example, he doesn't care about his affiliates.
Yeah, they don't care, man. They don't care. All they see is a paycheck. And here's the problem. If
Yeah.
you switch, if you go to the other side, because this is a story that I hear all the time, and this is why it gets me like fired up and it gets me like really annoyed. The other side of that is you've got a single parent. You have a dad working two jobs. You have a mom who's trying to get back in the workforce. You have a teenager who is going into college and they just feel like nobody understands them. They want to do their own thing. You have people who are in situations where they want to make their own money. And then they start doing research and then they start hearing some con artists. That's all they are. They're lying. They're lying about what they're doing. They're complete liars. They're lying about what they're doing. And so this single parent, this overworked mom, this overworked dad, this teenager who feels lost starts saying, "Oh, if I give them $500 a month, I'll get success." And so the con artist is just counting his or her money. It's usually it's almost always a guy. He's just counting his money. And then you got the single mom who comes to me. These are true stories. I'll give you true stories. I'm not going to say names to respect their privacy, but these are true stories. They come to me, they hop on a call with me, and they're crying on the call. They're literally crying on the call because they've lost thousands of dollars listening to some idiot. That's me putting it nicely. Some idiot lied to them about how to make money.
Mhm.
That's why the content that I put out, I have the ultimate sales system video, right? The blueprint for 2025. You can watch that video, never pay me a single penny. And I tell
Right.
people, I'm like, listen, go use this stuff to get a client. If you watch one of my first videos ever, I say, here's how to start high level. Here's how to get to 25 clients for free. Here's how to get clients before you even join any program, before you even sign up for an affiliate, before you even use any software. Forget high level. Before you use any software, I show people how to pitch it. And that was one of my first YouTube videos because I've been this way since day one. Because from day one, I've seen the sheer amount of disgusting liars that push this stuff. Because while they're saying, "Oh, I'm making 200,000, 300,000 a month off affiliates," their affiliates are meanwhile like, I'm living on minimum wage and I'm trying to make this happen. I'm trying to make that happen. And I got kids at home. And like again, it's disgusting because they don't take time to get to know their people and they're just lying. And I'll tell you how to I'm not even gonna name drop. I'll tell you right now how to fact check if they're lying. Number one, big guy in the affiliate group. I'm not gonna say names. You guys can go find it. Huge guy in the affiliate group. Posts all the time how he knows Sean. He's got medals and everything. Go opt into his email because he pushes free snapshots. Go opt into his email. It's impossible to unsubscribe. He's removed all the unsubscription things.
Oh, yeah.
That is a major FTC problem. Huge. Huge. And he's doing it willingly. I even messaged him and I said, "Hey man, you seem like a cool guy. You have this wrong. You got to change it." Do you think he listened to me? No. Why? Because he's making money. He doesn't care who he screws over. He doesn't care what illegal things he does. Affiliate number two. Again, I'm not going to say names. Go look at their websites. This is one of the early ones, big one. I'm making all this money and I have all this other stuff I got going on. I went to his website. I look at the testimonials. The profile pictures of the testimonials, the thumbnail pictures look really good. I'm like, I download the image. I reverse image search it. They're all actors and actresses. He's just taking random pictures offline and saying, "I'm getting results." And then he shares his dashboard and it's his high level dashboard, not a Stripe, which can also be fake. He shares his high level dashboard. He's just put in $160,000 worth of opportunities. So now in his
Mhm.
reporting, it's like, "Oh, I'm making 160,000 a month." So what happens? Everybody goes, "Oh, I want that." He's never run the business a day in his life.
Yeah.
So and then what happens is these people then pay their money. They out money, right? Because here's the thing, right? When I pay myself like in increments of 10,000, I'm very blessed. I recognize that. And I've always been super appreciative. My wife is a school teacher. She doesn't make a lot of money. She loves doing it. She's in it for the passion. But if she paid 300, 400 a month, that's a quarter of her paycheck. So imagine now she doesn't have someone like me and she's a teacher by herself. Like think about what's the last hourly wage job you guys had? And then think about how much $500 is, $100 is, even $100 is relative to just what you were making before. That's 10% of some people's paycheck.
Yeah.
And so when these guys come out and they push this stuff, I've had people come to me and they're like, "Hey, how do I grow a program?" First question I always ask, and you can fact check me. Every time someone comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to start an affiliate program," the first thing I always ask is, "Have you done it before yourself? Have you helped somebody else before?" If the answer is no and no, I tell you, "Go away. You're not ready." You're not ready. I'm not going to endorse you to go scam other people. Why are you not, what authority do you have to help anybody, right?
Right.
It's a con. It's all it is. It's a con.
Yeah,
So I
because
get super passionate about it because I've seen the other side. I've talked to hundreds of people who come into me. They come in and they're like, I'm kidding. I'm not even joking. Like they'll come to me crying. They'll come to me frustrated. They'll come to me feeling like a loser, feeling depressed, feeling like an idiot because somebody conned them out of money. So
mm-hmm,
I see that side, and that to me is disgusting. And if you look at the other side of what I tell people, dude, I tell people come in at like the cheapest plan. I
mm-hmm,
had a guy, I was talking with a guy today. I kid you not. I was DMing a guy today for 3 hours, 3 hours, just talking back and forth. He's actually got a business. And I literally said, before you join, I said, here's what you should DM your current clients. If one of them bites, then hop in because I can help you fulfill. I literally told him, if you can lock in the sale, then sign up for the program or then pay me to custom build it. I'm telling people, go make money before you give me money. Because if what I tell you for free makes you a lot of money, who do you think they're going to come back to?
mm,
So when you're making those YouTube videos, just before we go into the topic, because I don't want to ramble too long, when you're making those YouTube videos, the way I make the video is like, how can I give you so much free value that you can make money on your own? Because the videos are not custom to your situation, right? Like, I don't know Omar's exact day to day, but if I make enough content to where Omar can pick pieces apart or even say, hey, this is exactly what I need, who do you think Omar's going to come back to? Right? Omar's going to say, "Hey, I have a new project. I have a new problem." Right? I was talking to a business owner yesterday, and he's on track to do 1 million a year in his cleaning company. And what he told me was, every time I fix something, a new problem emerges. And I'm like, what do I tell you guys? Every solution unlocks a problem, right? So when I made him a free video on Descript, sent him over, told him all the things I would do, it was like 20 minutes. He's like, oh, let's hop on a call. I love it. He's going to send me a video of his problem. I'm going to tell him how to fix it for free. And he's either going to walk away, fix it for free, and come back, or he's going to watch the video, go, wow, Alec knows his stuff. I want to work with you. Right. So a big part of like, if you are, and you don't have to be in the business to coach it. You just have to know what you're doing, and that's the benefit of the guinea pigs. The guinea pigs allow you to operate in a business that you have not yet been in to get results, to then leverage those results. Right. So
right.
Omar, to summarize, like what I would tell you, you can keep operating in that group and even like telling people to DM you off the side or sending YouTube videos, or even if you never do that, I'm telling you right now, because I've seen it so many times, they will DM you. They will DM you privately because this is what's going to happen. They're going to see that their guy is not responding to anything, or he's an idiot when he does respond because he's a sham. And then they're going to see you giving value and they're going to say, hey, I have a question for you. Locked in.
Yeah, yeah,
Every
because
single time.
sometimes they think that I am him
Yeah. Uh,
who is answering. They think that
Right.
is him, and I told them, no, I'm Omar. I'm not Ruben, but I can help you.
Yeah.
You
There you go.
know?
And if you keep doing that, and that's going to be part of what we're about to talk about for the next 20 minutes, if you keep doing that, it will translate into sales.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
But we'll go
Yeah.
ahead and jump in. Yeah, I would focus on building the Omar brand.
Okay, okay. Thank you,
Don't
thank you.
build someone else's dream. There's a reason why he's coming to you. It's because he sees you as a potential ally, which means he also sees you as a threat.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah, sure.
And you see how I talk about scam affiliates? I don't say their names. That would be tacky and trashy. And trust me, I've gotten into it with a few of them off the record. Like
Mm-hmm.
it one on one.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten into it with quite a few of them. I've gotten
Okay.
into it with a few of them in open. If you're friends with some people in the group, you'll see me getting into it with some of them on their pages. Not the people in our group, but like the scam fields that they have connections with. And I'll get into it. And you know what's funny? Never have I lost those conversations. Never have, if you want to look at it as like an argument, never have I lost those arguments.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not lying. I'm not inflating expectations. I'm not full of crap. I have people come to me all day long saying like this guy screwed me over. I've never had anybody come to me and say, you screwed me over. You did this, you did that. I've never had anyone say, oh, I heard, through the grapevine. Why? Because I had people come to me and they'll be like, I had a guy come to me. He goes, I'm not going to say names. He goes, I just joined your program. I have to leave because I've got health issues with my family member. Right. I refunded him his whole thing. I'm like, hey, take this. You're good, man. Don't worry about it. He's like, hey, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to do that. I'm like, I know, but I wouldn't feel good if I'm just taking your money like that. Plus, once things get better, you can come on back. I'm more than happy to have you. I do
Mm-hmm.
it with everybody. If you go to leave the group and you're like, hey, I'm leaving, fact check me. I will literally message you and be like, hey man, loved having you. Hope you come back. Enjoy. Like, see you soon. So if you put people above money, which is a big piece of how to hit this 10K mark, if you put people above money, the money will flow. The money will flow. And like I use this dating analogy all the time, and I don't mean to be crass, but it's like you've got guys, especially young men, they're always chasing sex. They're always chasing sex. It's like if you have a good woman that you can take care of, then that's going to be the fruit of the relationship is going to be a physical intimacy. So it's like you're chasing 24/7 going nowhere versus building a relationship that has, its benefits, right? It's the
Yeah.
same thing. So you put the relationship over the self gratification part, and what you want will actually flow to you even more. It's the moment that you get too focused on the outcome that everything falls apart. There's a reason why a lot of those scam affiliates, all they do is affiliate marketing because they can't hack it in the real world, and they know that reputation can be burned really quick.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go into how to hit the 10K monthly recurring revenue. So hopefully I can say enough stuff that makes sense to where you guys can see that I'm not full of crap. Or maybe I am, and you'll see real quick, right? So when we want to hit 10K monthly recurring revenue, the process of doing any of this is going to be very simple. This goes for like any goal you want to do, right? We're going to start with the end outcome. Like, what are we trying to achieve, which is on the screen? We're then going to immediately follow up with what not to do. Then we're going to follow up with growth revenue formula, building a schedule, and then attacking the schedule. So we're going to look at end result, build with the end result in mind. Number two, we're going to look at what not to do. Number three, we're going to look at your growth or revenue formula, which will lead into number four, your calendar and activity tracking. So this is like the process for it doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve. This is almost always what I would recommend that you do, right? We can talk bodybuilding, we can talk losing weight, we can talk being a faster swimmer, we can talk reading more books, we can talk being a better person, we can talk how to hit $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue. It doesn't matter. This is the process that I use for everything and has made me very, very successful in any pursuit that I take, okay? Any pursuit that I take. So, end result. Do not build with a short view. This is a big problem I see all the time. They go, there's basically these two flows, right? So let's look at a chart real quick. So this is our timeline, and this is going to be time. And you guys know how good I am at drawing, right? You guys are all supposed to say, yes, we know. So this is the time.
A veritable Picasso.
Exactly. And this is your cash flow. So what the scam affiliates will tell you, and this is where they get a little bit of traction, is they'll tell you sell anything to anybody or sell this very basic thing to anybody you can, right? And they'll tell you like, vaguely service businesses, right? And so what you end up seeing is they say, hey, reach out to anybody in your network and see who wants what and see who bites. And so you'll see a little bit of cash, but because the product is not great, you'll have this dip. And then you basically keep trying to fluctuate between these offers and you just keep seeing these little like rolling hills, if you will. Okay, this is what happens every single time. The reason it happens is because even if you are successful, you become too diversified to where your fulfillment slows down, right? If we know the end goal in mind, we might see a slower growth every single time. If you're following what I'm going to tell you, every single time somebody has actually executed on everything I'm telling them, the 3 month mark is always the point where you start seeing revenue go up, 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 up. And then you go into these little rolling hills, but they're moving up because basically as you get more money, you have less time. So then you take the money that you now have, you reinvest it into scaling up your team, and now you have more time. As you get more time, it costs money to hire somebody, so your profits dip. And you see this vertical hill, right? But even though you brought somebody in, now that you have more time, you brought in a pro, they start making you more money. You start getting more work, yada, 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 right? It just repeats and repeats. So obviously, we want to have something that's built with the end result in mind. I'll give you a more tangible example. If I only sell to landscapers, if I only sell to, I was talking to the guy this morning, portable storage units. If I only sell to this market, it might be slower to start up, but once I'm known in that space and they start sharing me, it's going to go up and up and up. You guys know Grant. Grant and I have a landscaping agency, right? November, we start pushing the group aggressively. What's 3 months after November? November to December, December to January, January to February. What are we? February. This past week, he's had 4 sales calls. He closed somebody last week. He closed somebody the week before. He was like, dude, it's coming like crazy. Guess what it was? 3 months. It's always 3 months. Now, during those 3 months, what did he do? We're going to cover that. But it's always 3 months, and he's closing them like crazy. Every sales call he's closed. That's another $319 in monthly recurring revenue, not including his setup fees. 319, 319, 319, 319. That's 36 or 3,700 extra a year. 319, 319, 319, 319. Crazy, right? So the end result, what do we want the end result to look like? We want the end result to look like what? What somebody tell me, like, dream. You're like, let's close our eyes, let's meditate. What does the end result look like? You have a business, successful, 3 years from now. You're living your dream life. Somebody come off mute. Tell me, what does your dream life look like? Your personal life and your agency life.
More time with the family, more time, you've got more choices. You can make, because they say, like, obviously more money gives you more choices give you more freedom. So I would, if I'm speaking from my perspective, that's literally how I would, if I was to meditate on that, that's what I see.
Yeah. What does an average day look like for Adelina?
What now? Or
3 years from
my,
now?
Well, I would say, yeah, like just more time with the family, first of all, more options, to make the choices that I can, like, that would be like, for not just financially, but like even from a health point of view, like, I'd be kind of stable in the fact that if I had any kind of health scare, I could have the option to see the best doctors. I could look after family as well.
Yeah, more cash, like not
Yeah,
even
more
a
cash,
thought.
yeah. So like also more what's the word I'm looking for? I'd have more time. Everything would be like, everything would flow in the business. Everything would be a lot. I'd have a team that could sort things out, Yeah, so stress-free like that, yeah.
Anybody disagree with any of this stuff? No, right? Surprise, surprise, right? So end result, we want a business that allows us these things. So if you're building a business in the beginning and you're selling everything to anybody, your free time is going to be crushed. Your cash flow is going to be too low because you're not going to be able to charge the rates you want to charge. You're not going to have the freedom. I met with a guy yesterday. He's like, we've got, several clients, business is up and running. I have no free time. And he's charging hourly. And I'm like, well, you got to switch to project basis and you have to secure monthly payments. So switch to monthly basis, base rate project fee plus extra billing hours. If you do that, you're going to have more predictable income, which is going to give you more cash. The more cash means that you can pay for a capable team, which means you're stress free. And that's going to lead to more free time, more freedom, and you're going to feel much more financially secure instead of you having to do all the work. So this becomes the main piece. Now, here's the other problem. Again, remember up here, if you're selling everything to anybody, yes, you're getting cash up front, but you're not charging the rates you need and you're getting swamped in the work. And because you're not charging the rates you need, because you're not viewed as an expert, you're having to play gas station prices, you end up doing all the work or you end up hiring shoddy work. And that doesn't translate well into the next client or into case studies or into assets, right? If you want my proof, go look into the Facebook group, the official high-level community for jobs. Go look when somebody makes a post, all the piranhas trying to bite up and get a piece of cash. And I'm not knocking them. Like, you got to hustle and get your money. I'm not knocking them at all. But look at how they have to lower their pricing to stand out. How is that going to lead to more cash? It's not. Who would you guys pay more money to? A nurse or a neurosurgeon?
A surgeon.
The neurosurgeon. Who can charge more money without even thinking? The
Always
nurse
a
or the
specialist.
neurosurgeon?
The neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon. And yet, when I explain that to you guys, everybody goes, yeah, duh, that makes sense. But then why do we look at agencies who offer more items than the Cheesecake Factory menu and they go, no, I can sell anything to anybody? You're the nurse. And listen, there's nothing wrong with being a nurse. Nurses make phenomenal money. They make great money. They probably make more money than the average American, and they're extremely intelligent. If you don't know much about nurses, they probably run the show better than most doctors. But when you need the big guns, what happens? You call in the doctor, right? The doctor probably he or she works way less. He or she is much more highly trained. He or she can justify charging way more. When a doctor says, uh, you go to the ER, right? What do they say? Well, do I need to go to the ER or not? How expensive is it going to be? If I tell you straight up, you have cancer, you have some serious, debilitating disease, your first question is not what's the price. Your first question is, can we cure it? Then what's the price? But if you get a scratch on your arm, if you get a broken bone, you should probably go to the doctor. But you get a scratch, you get a allergic reaction to something, you're like, okay, do we have to go to the ER? Because that's going to be more money than we want to spend. And you're talking like 200, 400, 1,000, 10,000, right? You're talking about brain surgery. We're talking like 150,000, millions of dollars. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, but money's not an issue when we get to the higher end, right? It's an afterthought. So the basic, I basically what you want to do is you want to grow with the end result in mind. And this is what leads to end result in mind is going to be easy product, high ticket, or at least fat margins. And then we want to make sure we have fulfillment works, right? Like results. So if I can give you something that's easy to deploy fast, I can charge nice margins, and it works in terms of getting you results that we can quantify, that's going to rotate over and over. Now, if I have a case study, again, we talked about the specialist. If I have a case study who's doing, let's say, lawn care, and they also have a barber and maybe an auto detailer. Okay. And then on the other side, we have pool install, pool install, pool install. And these are my case studies. Who do you think you're going to go to for pool install? Let me get somebody else to come off mute. Who are you going to go to? You got to pay for a pool install, or you run a pool installation company. Who are you going to go to?
I'd go for pool install because
Right.
he clearly knows what he's doing.
Okay, now let me give you more context. This guy for pool install, your pool install build he's going to do, he's going to charge you $1,000. Now, mind you, these are case studies, so let's just assume they've gotten good results. He's gotten great results in lawn care, barber, auto detailing. He's going to charge you $1,000. This guy, also great case studies. Only pool install. You want pool install. He's going to charge you $3,000. Does that change your opinion? And just be honest. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear.
Yeah, that would definitely change my opinion.
Are you still going pool install?
3 times the price? I don't know.
Well, 3 times the price to only have to do it once.
So Simon is saying we know he can do it well, or she can do it well because they're doing the pool install.
Yeah.
But notice you're thinking twice now. But notice you didn't immediately say, I'm going straight for the 1,000. Now it's like, oh, I got to think about it. You got to think about it, and it's 3 times the price. What if you had two of these guys? If you had two of these guys and one charged 1,000, one charged 3,000, who are you going with?
So the 1,000 is charging me twice. So I
No,
have
so you have two of these guys. So you have two guys who are generalists.
Yeah.
So one generalist is charging you 1,000,
Yeah.
and one is charging you 3,000. Now who are you going with?
I'm going for the 1,000 generalist.
Duh, right? They're the same dude.
Yeah.
So what's the only differentiator? It's the price. But if we have a specialist who only works in that space, who speaks the language, who knows the problems, but he's 3 times as much, now who are you going to go with? Can we agree this guy's gone?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no one even thought about that. We're like, yeah, duh,
Yeah.
get him out of here.
Yeah.
But now you got to really think like, which one do I want to go with? Now let me ask you a different question. Who do you think is going to pick this guy? What kind of business owner would pick that guy over the generalist?
The business owner that wants the best pool installing company that that's willing to pay the price, but he sees the value in getting the best.
and he wants the best. Now,
Yeah.
let's flip it back to you. What kind of client would you rather work with? The price shopper or the guy or lady who wants the best and will pay for the best?
Of course, the one that was going to pay for the best, I would want them.
So this is who we have to become. You've got to become the neurosurgeon. You have to become the cardiologist.
Oh,
And so this is how you get. And now, are you going to have people who give you objection in terms of price? Of course. But we don't want them. We want the people who want the best. Does that make sense?
yeah, that was a really good way to work it around. I'm not gonna lie. That was
I appreciate it. I will take all the compliments I can get. So now the question is, how do we become the specialist? Would you guys agree the specialist gets paid more money?
definitely.
Are anybody confused on that? Now let's play devil's advocate. If I can sell to more people, I can get more money, right? You can get more cash flow. Here's the problem. Does anybody know what the number one biggest expense in any business is?
Labor.
Talking like bigger businesses. Big businesses. What's the number one expense?
Client
Is it-
acquisition.
Is it staff?
Labor.
It's staff, but what kind of staff?
Hmm.
Admin workers?
Admin.
Why do you say admin?
Because you would probably need so many people to do data entry, and I just need one specialist to do the job for me, but I need like all these admin people to help me with the data entry.
So you're very close. The answer is middle management. Why? Because they don't produce any revenue and they're more expensive than entry level people because you got to pay for managers' rates and you got to manage people. Now, let me ask you, if you have, let's say this is you, okay? Give me 3 services that you could offer. Like if you're a generalist, give me 3 general service packages we could offer. Maybe
Social media.
social media,
Appointments.
maybe scheduling, and then maybe custom
Follow
websites.
up.
What'd you say, Omar?
Follow up sequence.
Okay, maybe like like we have a sales team for you, right? So these are all the services he offers. Now, as your team grows, you have more people here, 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 and so on, right? Your middle management has to manage all these people. And now you have to report, you have all these teams reporting to you. This is your number one cost. It's your management because of all the different offers you have. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to stay away from management, but if you streamline your offer, you can at least prolong when you bring on middle management. And if you're like, what are you talking about? If you go read any book on anybody familiar with like the joke about consultants, like what consultants do?
Yeah.
What have you heard? Because I'll tell you like the easy way to become a consultant.
I just heard they consult you with giving you the same advice that you could have obviously found for yourself, but they just
Yeah,
give you
that's
generalist advice, and you're just thinking, okay, I think I could have found this out myself.
yeah, that's probably like your low level coaches. If you look at your high level consultants, you know what they always do?
Yeah.
There's a word that will probably trigger some people. We're gonna restructure. We're gonna change how you organize it, and we're gonna can everybody who doesn't fit into it. Why do they fire people? Why don't they say, hey, spend less money on ads? Why is it always a restructuring? Because man, and paying people is expensive. One employee, let's say one employee at 50,000, which is not a lot of money. One employee at 50,000. Then you have your overhead. So your overhead is going to be at least 10% at the lowest. So now you're paying 10 to 30% on top of that. And then you have to have you've got your insurance, you've got your disability, and then you've got roles that are just like they're doing nothing, but you have to pay somebody to do it. That's why they all come in and do restructuring every single time. If you read the book Built to Sell by Warlow, he comes into a guy, Ted, I believe is his name, the main character, the protagonist. And the main character has all these different offers. And he's like, what's your best offer that you're really good at? And he says, we have a logo design process. We have a 5-step logo design process. He goes, Great. We're going to cut every other department. So now you're going to be the specialist with logo design. Your process that works so well is going to be given to your sales team because now they can communicate that not only are you a specialist, but you are the specialist who has the process to build the best logo. And now your rates are going to go through the roof and you're only doing project basis work. And the book Built to Sell is literally the story of how he goes from a generalist business to a specialist. And what do? They restructure the offer. They restructure, and once you restructure the offer, you restructure the team. Go read Ultimate Sales Machine, the case that I talk about all the time. This company has 65 clients. One is making 100 million in revenue. The other 64 combined are less than 10 or 20 million. Then they do a cost analysis. 80% of the costs are tied to 64 companies because they have middle management because they have so many clients. But only one client's paying 100 million. The rest are 10 million aggregate. So like, cool. If you fire all those customers, you can get rid of all your middle management and just deliver for this one client. So they went from 120 million down to 100 million, but their profit shot through the roof because they gutted all the middle management. And then they made a list of only one other client that was a 300 million or $200 million client that was just like them because now they are the go-to for that one type of client. All the big guys are doing this. So it makes you think, why are the scam affiliates telling me to sell to anybody and everybody? My argument would be because they're making chump change and they don't know what they're talking about. That's just my argument.
And if you just go out there and try to sell to anybody and you can get a few small ones in there, you're more inclined to stick around and keep paying their affiliate fees.
Yeah, they want to get you hooked on fast.
Yeah.
So let's come back up here. So if we're building in mind, we've already identified that we need to have fast fulfillment. Let's cover the end result. We want fast fulfillment. Why? Because that will lead to fast sales. That's why. If I can sell faster, if I can fulfill faster, I can sell faster. If I can sell faster, then I can continuously sell. I talked with a window cleaner, and he says my goal is to get about 750 a day in profit. So imagine now if you're like, oh, I could deliver a product in 750 a day. What if it took you a week? So what's somebody tell me, what is 750 times 52? Because there's 52 weeks in a year. And then somebody else tell me 750 times 365
39,000
for the top
times 52.
39,000.
Yep.
And somebody tell me 750 times 365.
273, 750.
273, 350. Did I hear that right?
750.
750. What's the difference? Fulfillment. It's the speed of fulfillment. So if you know it's going to take me a week to deliver, this number has to go up. If I know, hey, I can't really charge more than this based on the market price, how can I fulfill faster so this number can go up? Right? Or how can I identify who my dream clientele is so we can increase the price and the fulfillment? Right? So you have to build with one or either both in mind. So when I say pick a niche, I don't mean pick an industry necessarily. A lot of people get confused by that. What I'm saying is you have to pick a sub community of people that you can service that will allow you to have targeted messaging, fast fulfillment. The easiest way to do that is to say, I work with blank industry. That's the easiest way to do that. But if you look at SASO funnels, with SASO funnels, who I work with is I work with local service-based businesses that are doing north of 500,000 a year. So it's usually between 500,000 and 2 million a year, right? So that's like my ideal clientele. Why? Because I know they've made enough mistakes to say, I need a professional. I know they've made so many mistakes that they say, when I bring in a professional, let me listen to the professional. And they've gone through the parts that most people struggle with. So they've gone through the parts that I don't really want to help with. I want to focus on the back end operational structure. So I've identified exactly who I want to work with, and then I have a process that allows me fast fulfillment. So I can charge between 6K and 20K, and I can deliver within a week and then a standby period for 1 to 3 months.
I'm so sorry, Alec. Just on the point when you said industry over kind of like also picking a sub community. I don't know if you remember on our first call I was telling you about HVAC. Hey, I want to like follow HVAC. Obviously he told me to keep it with first origin with my first customers, to keep it with my point of contacts. Luckily, I have lots of friends that do blue collar work, and most of them are actually multi-trade. So they kind of they're electricians, they're plumbers,
Yeah.
they do painting as well. So before, obviously, I was trying to look for this HVAC community, but I felt like I was kind of chasing something kind of a bit open. So how
Mm.
would you feel about, these people that are multi-traders?
I would
Um,
stay away because they're generalists the same way this is generalist.
yeah,
Now, here's what
yeah,
I do with everybody who comes to me that says I'm a generalist. Ready? I'll give you some gold right now. Okay, you can take this and this is like what I do in consulting. I literally did this with a guy yesterday. Okay? Here's what I do. Number one, go buy the book 80/20 Principle, and I'll show you the book.
yeah,
You can read this book. I'm not being corny. If you read this book and fully understand it, like read it over and over and over and over and over and over again, you can walk away
yeah,
being a consultant. I don't care if people are like, that's stupid. I don't care if people are
yeah,
like, you're oversimplifying it. No, this is 90. If any business book you read will reference this book, every single business book you read will reference this book. Do you know why? Because it works so stinking well. This is like a 10 out of 10 book. I've got like 10 out of 10 books. This is the first one. 10 out of 10. Like I would read this over and over and over and over again. Like every year you should read this book. I don't care if like you should get to the point where you can reference it the way like people can reference, Bible scripture, right? Like you should get to that point with 80/20. So once you read that book, here's what you're going to do. Ready? And I'm just giving you the book because you can read the context. What Alec does is I read a ton of literature. I consume a lot of content and then I say, how do we apply it? So I don't want you guys thinking like, oh, Alec is a genius. I would love the compliment, but I got to give credit where credit is due. So 80/20 principle, Pareto's law, right? Here's what you do. You go to the tradesman. This is the exact same thing I did with the guy yesterday. Here's what you do. Ready? Go to the tradesman and you say, who are your best customers? So you're going to get a list of your customers. Hey, Dave, what's up, man? SAS Marketing Willie. Yeah, this is live. You're going to go to your customers and you're going to say, number one, who are your best customers? How do we define best customers? Ready? Business name, business type, money they paid you, and then I do a 1 to 5 likability score. How much did you have fun working with them? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter top down by money. And then I'm going to look at the top 20%. What do they have in common? So now I'm looking at who paid me the most amount of money and who do I have the most amount of fun with. Would you like to work with people who pay you a lot of money and you have fun with?
yeah.
Or would you prefer somebody that you can't stand and is cheap? Again, when I say it like this, it's like duh, right? But then when you go tell people, hey, we're going to do this and we're going to cut out everybody else. Because then they go, oh, but that's money. Yes, but if we remove the dead weight, you're going to have money to scale with these really cool clients, with clients you have a lot of fun with. Um, I don't want to get too personal with you guys, but you ever date somebody and you're like, do I break it off or not?
All the
It's
time.
like, right. And it's like, well, how are you going to find the girl you really want to be with if you don't break it off? Does breaking it off suck? Yeah. But it's not going to be a good relationship anyway. Break it off. And it's like, oh, that hurts. And then guess what? Now you're open and boom, you meet the love of your life. And then you're thinking, why didn't I do this before? Or oh, I wish I could have met you sooner. It's like, well, you were occupied. They're occupied with these loser customers, right? Not that the person themselves is a loser, but like the client type is a loser, right? So we go, who? Then we go, why? Why did these dream clients come to you? Guess how you find that out? Ask them. And you know what they're going to tell you? They're going to tell you your USP, your unique selling proposition. And like, again, go look at the story of Yelp. Yelp was actually really advanced for its time, early 2000s. They had a bunch of software for local businesses. And one of the software tools that they had that they didn't even think was big was the review aspect. And they were like, it's whatever. And they're focusing on all these other tools. Out of nowhere, Yelp starts growing fast. And they're like, yeah, let's go look at our data. Like, why are they growing fast? What was everybody using? The reviews. And they're like, the reviews? And like, okay. So they listened to the data. They got all the projects they're having a ton of fun with, focused only on the review portion, the social review aspect. And boom, I said Yelp. Nobody said what's Yelp. We all know what Yelp is because they listened to the data. They listened to who their best clients, tell them why they loved it, and they made that their unique selling proposition. Don't
Got you.
force it on somebody. Oh, here's why you should like me. We do not care. Like, give us what we want. So that's what you do every single time you have a generalist company, in any single aspect, every single time. So what the next piece I want to cover, because I don't want to go over time today. What not to do. Watch this. If you want to, let me get somebody who wants to volunteer again. If you want to get in really good shape, what should you not do?
Eat the sad.
What?
Eat standard American diet.
Okay, so eat badly. What
Yep.
else should you not do?
Not doing exercise.
Yeah, skip the
Yeah.
gym. What else should you do?
Bad habits. So like no, stop like drinking, all that extra
Oh
stuff.
yeah, as many bad
Yeah.
habits as you can
Habits as you
think.
can cut out.
Yeah.
Bad sleeping, eat late, smoking, drinking. What else? What about
Lack of sleep.
lack of sleep is good. What about
Yeah.
inconsistency?
Sleep hygiene.
Uh,
Um,
no
also
sleep.
hang out with fat people.
Okay, hang out with fat people.
I
Maybe
mean,
let's put unhealthy. Yeah, we'll put unhealthy because I've seen some skinny people who are unhealthy too. Hang out with unhealthy people, right?
yep.
Are you ready for this? You guys were fast to be negative, right? That's the point. Now watch this. Somebody tell me what is the opposite of eat badly?
Eat healthy.
What's the opposite of skip the gym?
Go to the gym.
What's the opposite of bad habits? Maybe drop the bad habits or add good habits. What's the opposite of being inconsistent?
Consistent.
What's the opposite of no sleep?
Till Brooklyn.
Yeah, sleep, right? What's the opposite of hang out with unhealthy people?
Hang out with healthy people.
Healthy people.
Thought you were going to say hang out with skinny people.
No, no. I've seen some unhealthy. I've seen some unhealthy skinny people. So don't get me wrong. But check it out. How easy was it to say all this stuff? It's a lot easier than saying, "Hey, Alec, how do I grow a business?" If we map out all the things you shouldn't do, be inconsistent, have bad habits like not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe be rude to people. Maybe don't communicate with other people. Don't network. Tell nobody about your product. What's the opposite of all that? Network consistently. Put out content consistently. Focus on one niche. Don't be all over the place because then nobody knows who you are. Charge project, not hourly, right? Create a good product. Follow up with your good product. You see how it all ties together? So if you map out all the things that you should not be doing, then this becomes easy. Now, if I had asked you, tell me all the things to be healthy, you might not know, or it might take you a while. But we as humans, we can get to the negative real quick, and the positive is just the inverse. So identify what not to do with your business, and then do the opposite. Now, once you know what to do, and we'll use more of a business example as we start wrapping up, because this is actually not a complicated topic. Once we know what to do, so let's say it's why are we still green? I wanted black. I don't know why it's making it oh, whoops. I see why. There we go. So now we're going to say niche down. Now we're going to say create content. Now we're going to say engage in other people's audience. Now we're going to say let me see. Now we're going to say, oops, put people over money. Now we're going to say build a great product. And now we're going to say, what else should we do? Niche, create content, engage. I'll probably add in here great experience. Everybody agree with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have what to do. So now what we want to do is we want to go into a growth or revenue formula. And I was doing this with Omar the other week. We want to identify what should we spend our time doing to make money. Are you ready? What do I not do? What should I do? This is the only thing you should be spending your time doing. Now, if I only focus on, somebody tell me a chore you absolutely hate doing. I hate folding laundry. Hate it. I don't know if any of you are married or maybe you have a woman in your life that you do laundry for. I don't understand how y'all fold that stuff. I got something that comes out of the dryer, looks like the letter Y had a baby with the letter W. I'm like, I don't even know how to fold this. Man, it's like t-shirt, shorts, boom, we're done. Like that's it, right? Women, y'all have so much freedom with clothing choices, but it's very difficult to fold for my wife. So I hate doing laundry. Who is the chore they hate doing?
Wash the dishes.
Wash the dishes. I used to be a dishes guy too. So check it out. I'm gonna pick on you, Omar. Ready? We're gonna go fast, okay? Just tell me yes or no. Is folding the laundry doing dishes?
It's fully what?
Does folding the laundry do the dishes for you?
No,
Does vacuuming do the dishes?
no,
Does thinking about doing the dishes do the dishes?
no,
Does reading about how to do the dishes do the dishes?
no,
Does planning how to do the dishes for months do the dishes?
no.
Does doing the dishes do the dishes?
Yeah.
So you have to do it. And so what happens is what I see all the time is I see people who say, I'm going to focus on creating content. Okay, but are you engaging other people's audiences? No. You have to engage. I see people who say, well, I'm creating really good content. I'm asking for money. Are you putting people above the money? No, you got to do it. Are you making a great product and asking them for feedback? No, that doesn't make it go away. I would love to do the dishes 5 times over before I fold a single piece of laundry. It doesn't work that way. Does giving a great experience, if you have a great product, does that necessitate a great experience? No, you have to put time into all of these things. And so I'll see people who have a great product never market. How do people know? I see people who market nonstop have a crappy product. You don't have a case study to market on, and you have people who come in and they leave right away. So the growth formula becomes how can I do all of these things active, right? So once you have the niche, now I know I need to create content. I need to engage. So maybe like direct promotion, networking, right? So creating content goes to everybody, engaging goes one-on-one. I need to develop the product around what they like. And so if I can get them a win, if I can get my client a win with that product, whatever it is, if I have you on Zoom, I want to get you on Zoom. Twitter, they found that if you follow 30 people, you're going to stay on Twitter. PayPal, they found that if you are using eBay, you're probably going to use PayPal. And if you have a successful transaction that goes well, you're going to stay, right? So how can I get you a quick win? So we want a quick win that shows an immediate ROI. You got what you paid for and it's really easy to use. And that ties into this and this. So those two kind of go together, right? So if I'm creating content, I'm engaging with people and I'm getting them a quick win, right? And we can add in here, you have to have more sales calls or maybe just demos, right? Whatever your sign up process is. But if I'm creating content, engaging with people, which leads to sales calls and demos, and I'm getting them a quick win as soon as they sign up, that's going to lead to money. Now I'm going to mess with your heads a little bit. Does a good website do any of this?
Nope.
No. Can it help? Sure.
Yes.
But we need to prioritize content engagement, getting them a quick or sales calls, and then a quick win. That's the chronological order. I need to have good content. I need to engage you. I need to have a good sales call. Once you onboard, I need to have a smooth onboarding experience so that you can get a quick win. Because if you get a quick win, like somebody said, the scam affiliates, if they can get you a quick win, you're going to stick with them. So even somebody who is not really delivering value, and some people go to the scam affiliate and then they ask Alec for help and they get a client. Like, oh, I'm with this guy. And then they end up transferring all their sub accounts because they hate that guy so much. I've seen that like countless times.
I did it.
Yeah, there you go. I see it countless times.
Mhm.
So if I can do these things, that's going to lead to money. Now, if I get too hung up on engagement, am I doing the rest? No. So it's not only that we have to understand what we need to do, but also do it, right? And so this leads into, so we've got into end result, what not to do, growth revenue formula. This helps us become effective. If you're efficient, I don't care because you can efficiently do, again, you can, I did this once where my wife goes, Alec, can you fold the laundry? And I'm like, okay. and I'm looking at the house, and the house is kind of messy. And I'm like, oh well, let me. I kid you not, I did the dishes, I vacuum, I sweep, I fold the blankets and towels, not the clothes. I clean the bathroom. My wife gets home, and Adelina, if you don't mind, since you can probably speak from the other side, what
Yeah.
do you think? What do you think my wife said when I came home?
I bet she was really happy.
But did I do the one
Yeah.
thing she wanted me to do?
Um, what was the, sorry, because I wasn't kind of
You're good.
clued on to the
She
first
wanted
thing
me
you
to
said.
she wanted me to fold the clothes. So I basically
Oh,
cleaned the whole house, but I didn't fold the clothes.
oh, okay, okay.
So
Yeah,
if
I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure she would have kind of noticed that and not been happy with that.
but I did everything else.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
sounds like an
But
opportunity for communication.
It sounds like I didn't do the one thing that she requested of me. And so it's like, okay, it doesn't matter you did everything else. I didn't need help with that. This is the one place I needed help with.
yeah, so the other things are like irrelevant, really.
They're irrelevant. And so what people do, they become so efficient, and it's like, but it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You tweak the font on your website 10 times. Who cares? So once you have this growth revenue formula, you have to build a calendar and activity around that. So if I know I need to do all these things, I need to now bake this into my calendar. Oh, what does Alec give you when you come in? The accountability tracker. Because now it's saying, hey, content, YouTube videos, twice a month. Oh, but Alec, I engaged for 5 hours for the whole month. Did you make content too? No, doesn't matter. Did you fold the clothes like I asked you to? No, you got to do it. Right? Oh, well, I folded the clothes. Okay, but you left the trash like spilling out, right? It's like you got to upkeep all the important metrics. So now we do YouTube twice a month. I got to engage in it with other people, right? So OPA, other people's audiences they've already pre-built. That needs to be daily. And I'd put like, 2 to 4 hours, depending on how much free time you have daily. That's got to be where you're focusing a lot because how are they going to see the YouTube video? You want to rely on YouTube's SEO? Not me. I was pushing that stuff like crack in the 70s. I was going crazy with that. I still do it. Go look at any post. Somebody, who was it? Somebody made a post about a technician automation. I commented, I said, here's how I do it. Somebody said, hey, can you make a video on this? I said, yep. And I made the video that day. And I pushed it like 15 different times. I don't care. I'll push it to this day. Great content, engage, sales calls. So now with the other people's audiences, I need to lead to DMs and calls. And one thing that we do with Grant is we basically say, hey, when somebody comes in, sees the content, we push them to the call. We push them to a call right away. So this needs to be pushing as often as you can. And then the quick win is basically saying, okay, we're going to stay with them with the product until they get a quick win. So I need to be on standby for those customers as they're coming in. And then what we do for the quick wins is we check in once a week for a month, and then we slow down to 2x, and then we slow down to like 2x a month, and then we slow down to 1x a month, making sure they're happy. And we add reporting because reporting shows the quick wins. Everything we're doing ties back to, you know who I am. You're talking to me because people love talking. You're getting on a call with me to see if I'm worth my stuff, right? Omar had a call today, hopped on the call, and then they say, hey, I want in. Now when they come in, what's the next piece? I need to get you a quick win so you stay. So now you bake, okay, I have to do all of these things, put them into your calendar, structure time into your calendar to make it happen. So now when you wake up, I don't care if you have a full job. I had a full job, 8-hour job, 90 minutes away. So I was driving 3 hours a day to a full-time job, coming back to a wife, still doing chores and still making time for this. So don't tell me you don't have time. Unless you're a single mother with 3 kids, you don't have an excuse. But anything you want to do, that is the process that we're gonna follow. I gotta jump for another call, but that is what I wanted to cover with you guys today, which is it doesn't matter what you're doing. What is the end result? How do you want to live your life? Start that from day one. I don't care if it's slower growth because you're gonna look back on yourself and say, thank you for doing it the right way. Identify what not to do. How would you sabotage yourself? That's gonna tell you what to do. Now that you know what to do, what are the things that you can do that will lead to more money? Niching down is a one-time thing. What do I need to do every single day, every single week? I give you the accountability tracker. There's no excuse. And then how do I bake that into my calendar so I'm actually doing it? If you come to me like, hey, this program doesn't work, I'm going to say, hey, where's your accountability tracker? Oh, I'm not tracking anything. Again, if you're like, I don't believe that, let's pivot. Somebody comes to you, they're 400 pounds. I'm not losing any weight. Your program doesn't work. Let's look at your tracker. I'm not tracking anything. Well, you don't even know what you're eating. How can you lose weight? You're not even tracking your exercise. How do I even know you're doing it? Now I'm tracking it. Oh, great. And you know what 80/20 talks about even with diet? 20% of what you're eating is leading to 80% of the outcome of your body that you don't like. And that can go for your skinny too. Being skinny doesn't mean you're healthy. So if you can identify those things and bake it into your calendar where you know, I don't care if you have an hour a day. I do not care because I've done it. So you can't tell me, oh, I can't do it in an hour a day. That's BS. And I might push you guys a little bit, and I might be a little like, I don't want to say cold-hearted, because once you hear someone's situation, they're like, oh, you don't understand. It's not that I don't understand. It's that you have to want this so badly that you make time for it until you have full time to do what you want with it. When I started this, I was commuting, and then I got a remote job so I could do it more, less commuting. That gave me 3 hours back to my day. That didn't just go straight to work. I had family and stuff too. So now I have more time to work in the business, not a lot, but more. Then I automated my full-time job using Slack and Zapier, or is that Slack and Sheets, because Slack had automation. So I use the advanced Slack automations, automated my job. And now I'm working on the business a few more hours a day. And then I go to my wife and I'm like, hey, I want to do this full time. And she's like, well, how much money do we need to make? How much money are you making in your job? And I'm like, okay, here's how much money I'm making in my job. She's like, how much is your business making? I'm like, way more. She's like, honey, you need to quit. And I'm like, I'll quit in August. She's like, no, you need to quit like next month. Like, go do this. That brought me back my time. I work jobs that people would say are embarrassing because I didn't care. I wanted it so badly I made the time. And I'm a nobody. Like, I'm not saying that to put myself down. I'm a nobody. Who am I compared to you guys? The hardest thing that I can get you to do is to buy into the fact that you have to do it every single day. Even if it's just like 5 minutes, even if it's just like a video you watch, even if it's just like, but you have to hit all of those chores. If you can hit all those chores on a regular basis, your goal, even if it's once a week, I only have Saturdays. Good. Give me a 6-hour day Saturday. Oh, that's a long time. Okay, that's fine. You don't want it as bad as you're telling people you want it. But you're just doing yourself lip service. At least we know based on the tracker and your commitment that at least now we know it's lip service. So go do something else with your free time. Right? The tracker will show you how serious you are. Once you're tracking it, I can look at it and say, hey, now that you're tracking it, here's where you're doing well, here's where you're messing up. When I wanted a big bench press, I'm not trying to use like all these, douchebag, idiot analogies, but when I wanted a big bench press, I remember I bench pressed 285 and I was stuck there for a long time. I was like, man, I feel like a loser. What I did was I went to the gym. I would do a new workout. I would do 4 sets of 6. I would fail. If I failed or if I was slow, I would say, where did I fail? So if I fail at the bottom of the rep, you know what I would do? I would obliterate the pecs because that was the pecs. If I failed in the middle, you know what that was? Shoulders. So I would obliterate the shoulders right after that. If I failed at the lockout, you know what that was? Triceps. So I would obliterate the triceps. So I would come into the gym, every movement, bench, squat, everything. And I had pretty good numbers. Wherever I failed, that was what I did after that. I didn't care about a program. I did not care about a program. And I went from 285 to 355 bench in, it was like 4.5 months, which if you know lifting, that's like disgusting. All because I just said, where am I tracking where I was failing, attacking where I was failing, and then looking at my diet and increasing my diet. I'm not a genius. I'm not a pro by any means in any of this. I just know this is what I have to do. Attack your weak points. You don't know your weak points until you track it. You can't track it if you're not doing it. And it just works backwards, right?
That is so true. That is so true. I think just to add on that, Alec, before I kind of took this seriously and the pain was big, I was doing cold calling and I was getting discouraged, but I was tracking every day, like where am I going wrong or whatever. Since I've completely stopped doing cold calling and doing the cold DMs, but doing it the right way, I'm getting more traction. I'm getting more confident. And it's like I'm nearing the goal that I want to be at.
Yeah. And if you
So
look at
yeah,
the, if
just
you look
because I
at
tracked what I was doing.
100%. And if you look at the really douchey example I was using of the bench press or squat, deadlift, whatever, it's like, okay, I'm failing at the chest. Now I'm failing a little bit higher up, but I still failed the rep. Somebody's going to go, oh, that's a failure. I'm like, no, no, no. I just got further on that rep. Now I'm getting further. Now I'm locking out. Some people go, oh, it's all or nothing. No, it's not. That's stupid. Can you imagine telling a baby, oh, you're crawling before you're running and you like Spartan kick them over? No, you'd be like, what a monster, right? It's like, oh, progress, 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 progress. Take that progress And what happens is you start going from no one's answering my calls to people are answering my DMs to now people are asking about the pricing to now people are offering to get on the call. Now people are showing up to the call. Now they're telling me no to my face. Now they're telling me I'm interested. Now they're working with me. Now they're leaving. Now they're staying. That's progress. And you see it, you literally move forward like that every single time because now all the no's become 15% saying yeses. And of the 15% saying yeses, 25% say, let's hop on a call. And of the 25%, you're closing 30%. And now you're making money. And now you're revolving the social proof into the case studies. And now the case studies are getting you more clients easier. And now you're doing less and less work. And now you have more money. So you quit your job and you're doing it more and more. And you're scaling up the team. It happens the same way every time. But it takes looking at what we just covered on the call, structuring it backwards, and then being consistent. Being consistent. If you look at, I'll say this and then we'll hop off. Go look at like who was it? Like Kevin Durant's MVP speech, right? Where he's talking about how his mom was the MVP. He talks about the fact that like she didn't care what like the weather. She had 2 jobs or 3 jobs at different times. She's talking about how she would get him up to go practice for basketball at like a young age, butt crack of dawn. Go listen to like the families in like low income and how they like bust their tail to make sure their kid gets a better future. Think about the immigrants who bust their tail so their kid can go to college, right? They don't go, oh, I'm not, today's not my day. They're like, no, I have to do this. They make it happen. And then what's crazy is you'll have especially Americans who are so entitled. They're like, I got my show tonight. I worked for 30 minutes before I should go relax for 2.5 hours. And then they come to me and they go, I want to make 7 figures in 6 months. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and I tell them like, you're not going anywhere. You don't have the right mindset whatsoever. So if you can really implement what we covered on the call, identify what you want to do, what not to do, have that be the core things you do. Anything that's not a one-time event gets baked into your revenue formula. The revenue formula gets baked into your recurring tasks that you do every day, every week, every month, every year. And then you attack it. As you fail, you come to me and say, hey, where am I failing? And we'll cover it. But that's it for today. I got to hop off onto a client call with a guy I'm really excited to work with. But if you have any questions, hop in the group and post it there. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Cool. Bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
Bye,
Yeah, have a
guys.
good one.